Today I am making a Carolina Gold inspired pulled barbecue chicken sandwich that is absolutely delicious. Served on brioche buns with pickles, we're gonna brown the chicken in a pan hard, braise it in a tangy mustard barbecue sauce, and reduce that sauce until it gets glossy and sticky. Pile it high onto buttery buns and top it with some delicious dill pickles. This is easy enough for a weeknight, but good enough for a summer cookout. For the full ingredient list, check the description box below, but enough talking, let's get cooking. You can do this recipe with chicken breast, but we're gonna use boneless, skinless chicken thighs. This is gonna give us the best of both worlds of flavor and texture. The texture and what barbecue chicken actually is, because it's definitely dark meat. White meat is way less forgiving. You can overcook it easy. These chicken thighs go on forever. Before we season, we're gonna look for any bone fragments, because chicken processed in a factory invariably gets little bone fragments, and we don't want those to end up in there. So here you can see that even just in a quick check, I've already pulled out one of those little bone fragments. We're gonna use some of my base seasoning. This is a blend of garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper. This is the base of cooking basically everything I do. And now some smoked paprika. That's gonna give us our nice smoky flavor, because we're cooking this traditionally. This is cooked in like a smoker, and that's why you think of barbecue and smoke. So we're gonna get that nice generous dousing of that smoked paprika. That's gonna give us that nice smoky flavor. Now over the top of these spices, just to loosen it up, we're gonna sprinkle in a little olive oil. And now I'm gonna go in there with my hands and I'm gonna mix everything until these boneless, skinless chicken thighs are nice and well coated with the spices and the oil. So we're gonna set our chicken aside and we're gonna let the flavors on the spices and the chicken all marry and bloom. Let's make our Carolina Gold inspired barbecue sauce. The base of this Carolina Gold sauce is gonna be this yellow mustard. So we're gonna take a really generous portion of yellow mustard and we're gonna add that to this bowl. And we're gonna look like we're making a lot of barbecue sauce, because not only are we gonna make the sauce, we're also gonna end up with some sauce that we could pour on stuff. So I probably got about like 2 cups of mustard in there. Here I'm gonna pour in about 2/3 of a cup of some apple cider vinegar, about 1/2 cup of some honey, about 4 spoonfuls of some brown sugar. And when you make your own barbecue sauce, if you did want to make a little lighter sugar version, you could just cut the honey, cut the sugar. And that's one of the benefits of making stuff at home. You can make it full blast, or you could make it light to your dietary preferences. Couple of tablespoons of this here Worcester sauce. 1, 2. We're gonna back that up with some hot sauce. 1, 2. And a sprinkle of my base seasoning. This is a blend of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. So all the things that we would want in there all mixed together. So now let's mix our barbecue sauce. And if it looks a little watery, that's okay, because we're gonna cook this down and we're gonna braise the chicken in it. So it doesn't need to be thick right now. And you can see as I'm mixing it, it almost takes on that goldish color. That's why they call it Carolina Gold. And this isn't an exact recipe of Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. I've barely been to the Carolinas myself, but this is inspired by, and I really like it because I like a tangier, more acidic barbecue sauce than it is sweet. And I'm just mixing it until everything comes together. All the brown sugar and the honey is all well dissolved. So now that our chicken is prepped and our sauce is good to go, let's head over to the stove and start cooking. So I got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. So as soon as this is done, we're gonna throw the chicken in the oven. I'm gonna add a little bit of oil to this pan, and I got it hot over like a medium high to high-ish heat. And we're gonna get a nice sear on both sides of this chicken. And we're gonna do it in batches because we don't wanna overcrowd the pan. We wanna make sure that we get nice browning. If I gotta do this in 2 or 3 batches, I'd rather do that than rush it and not get the flavor that I'm gonna get out of this browning step. But once we get that nice charring on one side, we're gonna flip it over. And the one in the middle usually doesn't get, see how the difference between the color and the one on the middle and the one here? So usually what I'll do is I'll flip it over, I'll do that one side, the middle one I'll move, or the outside one I'll move to the middle. And remember, we're not fully cooking the chicken. We're just cooking it to get some color and some flavor on the outside of the chicken. If you throw the chicken right in a slow cooker, you don't get any of this, and this is big time flavor. This isn't minor, this is major. So once we've got good color on both sides of the chicken, we're gonna take the chicken, we're gonna put it in a baking dish, and we're gonna do another batch. Here I'm gonna max out the pan. I probably should have got one more chicken thigh into that last one. And now, so I had one extra one here because this looks a little overcrowded. But let's see if I leave it undisturbed with the heat really high, if I could still get good charring on this. And any of those little pieces that fell off those chicken thighs, then we'll find a home for them someplace. I left these for just a little longer, but yep, we get nice color on these outside pieces. That's actually perfect. So we actually reached the limit of what we could handle in this pan. And if you could see that these on the outside, because the flame is on the outside of the pan, some of these really didn't get as much color as I'd like them to. So I'm just gonna leave them for a little bit longer on that side. Let's check this outside piece. Yep, there's another nice one. And that's also acceptable. Do our move where we take some of the inside ones, we'll move them to the outside so they can finish their sear. And we'll let these cook on the other side in the middle. This one goes here, you go there. And if we're going for a sear, I like to push them down a little bit, make sure that they're making nice contact with the pan. Because anything that's not making contact with the pan is not gonna get browned. So now what I like to do is just take a little bit of the sauce and I'm gonna pour it inside the pan. And now I'll take a wooden spatula and I'll use this to help clean and get all those burnt on bits that are in the pan, because we wanna reclaim that flavor. And this is great braising material. This is very easy to do once the pan is hot, but I've already taken the heat off. These cast iron pans, they stay hot forever. So now we'll take this and we'll use this as the braising liquid to cook our chicken. So now uncovered, I'm gonna put this in the oven for about 35 to 45 minutes. So now we'll take the rest of our sauce and we'll reduce it in a little saucepan. So I'm gonna heat this over a medium-low heat until it comes up to a nice simmer, just to thicken it up a little bit. It's not gonna take very long once the heat gets underneath it, but I'm always gonna make sure, because there's a lot of sugars in here, that I'm always mixing periodically to make sure that we're not getting any burning and we're making sure that the heat's not up too high. Because if stuff sits or the heat's up too high or a combination of the two, that's when the sauce can burn. Because you can see right now that the sauce has a very liquidy consistency that we're gonna try to get just a little bit thicker so it looks and feels a little bit more like barbecue sauce from a consistency perspective. So after a couple of minutes, the sauce has thickened up a little bit, and it'll continue to thicken up after we take it off the heat, but this has been reduced enough for my liking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this sit, we're gonna shut it off the heat, and we're gonna let it cool down while our chicken finishes cooking. So these chicken thighs have been in the oven for about 45 minutes. Look at the awesome brown color we got on the outside. And you can see that I didn't put much liquid in there before, but now there's a lot of liquid. A lot of that is the liquid and the fat that is rendered out of the chicken thighs. So we already have a little bit of a liquid base, but let's let these cool down for about 10 or 15 minutes before we handle them. These are way too hot to shred right now. Before we handle our chicken, let's get our barbecue sauce into a squeeze bottle. The best way to do this is I take this little milk container and I cut off the top of it, and it makes transferring stuff into squeeze bottles a whole lot easier. And now that our barbecue sauce is in a squeeze bottle, it's gonna be way easier to apply. And also, we now have barbecue sauce that we can put on other things. Whenever you're cooking, my wife hates when I do this, when I scrape the spoon on the pan or the plate. But whenever we're cooking, if we can have extra stuff that we can use for other things, that's a bonus. In fact, I hate when I cook and we eat and there's nothing left over. All through that effort and only one time, The best thing that we can do is just use clean hands to shred the chicken. Hopefully it's cooled down enough that we're able to do that. You can do it with a fork and that's fine. It just takes forever. But if you actually cook the chicken well, you can just take it and just mush it with your hands and it should shred up really nicely. And it shreds up a little unevenly, like with chunks, and I kind of like that. So I'm just gonna shred this chicken by hand with clean hands. I've done a lot of videos where people are like, don't ever touch the food without gloves. As long as you wash your hands are clean. And as I'm saying that, I'm finding out this is still really hot. Way too hot to touch with my hands. So I'm actually gonna get the forks out and I'm gonna break up a couple of these pieces to let a lot of this heat dissipate. And then once it's a little cooler, then we'll be able to go back in with our hands. I haven't been doing the shred the chicken inside the stand mixer with the paddle, even though I've showed that before. I feel like it shreds the chicken too much, and I don't want the chicken shredded too much. I want it to have contrast of chunks and some lighter stuff, and the stand mixer just completely pulverizes it. That's a little technique that, although it's a good little hack to do in a pinch, I've worked away from that. And if I just waited a little longer, I wouldn't have had to use the forks. But once I break up these big pieces and all the heat goes away and all the heat dissipates out, I should be able to go back in there with my hands pretty quickly and finish this shred up. And you can see that I left the juice already in there, because as I shred this chicken, all the little chicken fibers will start to absorb that juice and make it all nice and flavorful, and won't even look like there's any juice left in there. Even just right after doing it with the forks, I can go right back in there, and now I'll just do the rest of the shred with my hands. And that's why sometimes they call it hand-pulled chicken. I guess it's just a little bit more attention rather than like a machine-pulled chicken. But I'm just gonna keep doing this until we get all of those big chunks broken up and it has that nice pulled chicken, shredded chicken consistency. And if you don't wanna use your hands, finish the rest of the job with the fork. And if you want to, you could do the stand with the paddle mixer, but again, it just gets way too shredded. And one more time, in case you skipped over this part, my hands are clean. I washed them. Clean hands and clean gloves are the same thing. And you can see once we shredded the chicken, all of the chicken has absorbed all of that juice and that sauce that was in here. All right, this looks pretty good. Let me just go wash my hands and let's make a sandwich. So before we grab our bun, let's give this a nice squirt of the barbecue sauce on top. Look at that gold. So now let's talk buns. For a sandwich like this, I really only think there's two kinds of buns. You got a potato roll, or my favorite, the brioche. It's nice and soft and it'll give that really good contrast in between the meat, but the bun is a soft bun, so we're gonna wanna toast this. So I'm just gonna go toast this on the stove real quick and then let's make our sandwich. And so we just want to get a nice light toast on this bun. One thing I like to do for a barbecue chicken sandwich is just put a little bit of mayo. Nothing crazy, but just a nice light coating of mayo on the bottom and the top bun. It's going to give a really nice creaminess. That's going to pair up really nicely with the barbecue chicken and the pickles that we're gonna put on there. Not oozing with mayo, just a little light spread. So now let's take a nice, generous helping of this barbecue chicken and put it on the sandwich. A little extra barbecue sauce. And now we're gonna take some of my favorite, I guess they would call these dill chips, but I think dill chips are the best. This is a brand that I absolutely love, Wickles. They are so good. And I like to take the pickles and put them on a paper towel just to get off some of the juice, so we don't want to make the sandwich too soggy. And I'm an extra pickle guy, so we're going like 5 pickles on this one. I'm gonna spread these pickles out nice. And now, how amazing does this barbecue chicken sandwich look? Well, enough of looking at it, let's eat this. I'm gonna cut this in half just so we can see that nice cross section. But then things cuts like butter. Pickle, you are not getting away on me. That is absolutely delicious in every way. The textures, the flavors, the pickles, the chicken, this is so good. You could make this for a barbecue side. Let's say people don't like burgers. You want to make this the day before. This would be fantastic because you already bought the buns. So this would be a great thing to have in addition to that. Or you could just make this for meal prep. You can make this for dinner and the kids would go nuts. And this doesn't need a lot of toppings. Just the pickles all by itself. No onions, no lettuce, no tomato, no nothing. Just buns, chicken, a little mayo, pickles. This is fantastic. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like the video if you liked it. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the recipe, what you thought about the video, and if you made it, what you thought about the end product that came out in your kitchen. If you're into shredded chicken dishes, check out my lemon garlic chicken, another really nice shredded chicken dish. I do that one with chicken breast, so it's a little lighter, a little fresher, and maybe that's more your thing. I will see you there. Thanks.